Oh, I'm nervous about this episode. Holy fuck. I haven't been nervous to do a show in such a long time.
Why are you nervous?
I don't know. Just doing a show with you and Thorin.
I think it's because you're not so used to being around girls, but it's okay. We've worked together before.
There we go. We got already.
I actually have a story that I want to tell about Loco.
Come on, let's do it. Right at the beginning.
You guys might not know this, okay?
Probably not.
Chat, about 5 years ago, Locodoco was really famous and cool, and people liked him. And one time we were at IEM San Jose. It was my first time ever interviewing him, and I shit you not, we walked down on the floor, and there was instantly, I literally 10 seconds into getting on the floor, a line started forming around him, and it was that 15 seconds. I hope that you never forget it.
I thought you were gonna mention the other 15 seconds.
Oh no, I heard that story about you and him.
Oh shit, I didn't know where you were going there, so I just wanted to yell to make sure.
I like how he got scared because he has a memory triggered.
Mm-hmm.
I have a story about Thorin.
Go on then, let's hear this one.
I have two stories about Thorin. First story, when I first started working at Esports, Thorin was one of the first Esports people that ever followed me on Twitter. Interesting. And second of all, my first time hanging out with you, you were playing Smash, and I was I think I know him. I want to say hi, but I was very shy back then, so I did not. But I did see you play Smash next to me. That's that's all I got. Story time over.
At least you're not shy anymore. You won't shut the fuck up so far. We've barely even got a word in, but fair enough.
She never shuts up.
A story for each of us. That was good.
I'm different on stream. I'm a streamer.
I actually have referred. Here's the thing: we've never actually told that story before, but that is actually the story, Loco, if you remember, which goes after the story of when we met in real life for the fourth time or something, and then you came up oh hey at that after party. When I was at High's house, and I just told you to basically in no uncertain terms of just
you told me to fuck off. Yeah.
And then what's good is as well, right? Because Loco's American. He thought I was joking, you kidding, right? I was no, get the fuck out of my face now.
Now look at us.
He just walked out of that area of the kitchen, and I just stayed there with all the cool people, Kobe, Crumbs.
All the cool people. I remember.
Exactly.
Those were good times. Those parties were much higher quality.
They were pretty fun, actually.
We had a really good time.
I was surprised how chill it was, It was pretty relaxing.
Parties nowadays are kind of garbo. Esport parties.
Esports parties are just a mess. It used to be a closer, not less people, but closer. We talked more or something. We knew each other better. We all had more I don't know. It's different now. I don't go as much. I don't work in esports anymore, so I'm not as much around.
Right, since you said Loco before, changing the format, I have an idea along those lines.
What?
Because obviously the premise of this episode, it's actually good timing that it's episode 69 anyway, because if you look at where we are in the calendar, right, Rift Rivals, the one that was NA and EU, was 2 weeks ago. No one really cares that much about the Asian one. And obviously there in theory isn't any LEC until this weekend, so there's not really any league we could have talked about anyway. So why don't we just do something just take questions from chat or something, as long as they're reasonable ones.
Okay.
Just don't take stupid ones. Obviously, ignore those.
We'll take questions from
chat. Where they go, and then we'll all just give our thoughts.
I actually had a few topics prepared because
the problem you have is this, Loco.
What?
It is. I'll give you credit. It is good marketing to do this episode with this particular number and be haha, oh look, we've got a girl. Haha, isn't this edgy? Because obviously people will see the thumbnail and click it. But what you didn't think through is this, Loco. Is you're comfortable talking to girls one-on-one or with 5 people who religiously watch anime. Now listen, there's more than 5 people who religiously watch anime in this chat. But the difference is that when you're saying the stupid shit that they're all just eating up this guy seems like he's not a worthless piece of shit. When whatever you say there isn't going to work to an audience of thousands. That only works to one person, another girl who sort of maybe thinks you're all right, her friend who doesn't entirely hurt you, and then the guy who watches anime. Like I said, there's different audience of kids. We got to be more careful with this one.
Okay. Well, I was gonna start with the topic we touched on with Lisa, the being a girl and working in esports, and how that can be really hard.
I remember. I have memories of this.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious about Moon. You worked as an interviewer for SK. How was that, and how was it working in esports?
So from my company's standpoint, and just speaking actually professionally, it was pretty much not that hard. In my company, they respected me, they believed in me, they let me do what I wanted to do. And they liked the content I was making. Basically, they helped me improve it. It was fine. But what I actually had the most difficulty with was either pros at first talking to me because they all were very socially awkward. Seriously, like high majority. It was really like hard to talk to me. So like sometimes the interviews would be awkward. And then the other thing would be you guys,
what?
The viewers.
Oh, the chat.
You guys are so like one track minded. I did one of my first interviews with Hai from when he was on C9. Oh fuck, this was like literally 5 years ago as well. I interviewed him, did this long interview about he had won, so I was doing like this good interview with him about all the games he played, everything important. It was very professional. At the very end, the last question I asked him, I was like, oh, by the way, I saw your Kingdom Hearts earring. Like, that's so sick. I like Kingdom Hearts too. And he's like, fuck yeah, that's tight. And I was like, cool, all right, peace out. Like, that was the end of the interview. Every comment, she's flirting with him. Every single fucking I had a boyfriend at the time. Hai is to this day a good friend of mine. I've been friends with all of his girlfriends. I've never had a thing with him. So like it's so funny. Like the people that are the audience are probably the worst part. But like I never really cared. Didn't bother me. They're just wrong. So it wasn't that hard for me in esports. I'd say it was just like if you care about audiences, then maybe it's hard. But in the actual infrastructure, it was whatevs.
On that topic, though, like, first of all, I definitely agree with you. One of the reasons why actually any women who come into esports right now are going to have not necessarily like horrible things, but, you know, some challenges is because most of the people in the community either are or were awkward teenage boys. Because think about it, right? If most people started playing really hardcore when they were like 13 years old, they didn't have all that time when they were going to socializing, doing all the things normal people are doing. So I always say a lot of LCS pros, people don't realize it. They might be 18 or 19, but they're probably more like a 15-year-old kid on an emotional level. You know?
Do you realize? I just realized right now, Thorn and I are just shitting on Yoon right now. Where he's just like, "That's me."
That is not me. I was always emotional. Moon, you've known me since I was young. You know me. I've always been very emotionally mature. But okay, no, I will agree with you.
You were like some fucking male version of Mean Girls. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you literally were a mean girl.
How am I a mean girl? What?
Okay, not anymore. I think you've become a much better person.
Wow, thank you, Moon.
And so have I. We both have.
Yeah.
Okay, well, no, you were a little fucking Regina
George.
Of course.
Okay, I'll speak more candidly. I'll speak more honest. So, as most pros and as more young people, when you're younger and like you play video games a lot, like you get this superiority complex, especially if you become a pro player, and especially if you do well. Like you feel like you feel like you're a god, and you're just good at video games. And yeah, I had that when I was younger, and I think a lot of pros still have that because they're young, they make a lot of money, they don't really fail, and like having that much money and having that much attention and having that much success when you're younger, it definitely like fucks with your psychic, and it is not healthy. I definitely was not the smartest or was the most grounded person when I was younger, and it took a lot of tough lessons to get to where I am.
Yeah.
Also, you know, there is another angle as well on this, which is like when you say, Moon, that all the comments in the chat are like one track mind. Like, I know it's true, by the way, because for example, it's like, for example, if you ever watch a video where, like, I like to watch ASMR videos, right? If you ever watch an ASMR video where for even 1 second there's like a flash of some cleavage, that will be like the top comment on YouTube, like, you know, timestamp 43 seconds, thank me later, guys, or whatever. But to be fair, that's also because the viewers who are doing that are also probably the equivalent of a 14-year-old boy. They're also just a little bunch of nerds on the internet, you know. Actually, it's not, I don't think it's as sinister as it might initially seem, you know.
That's also true, and that's another reason why it truly doesn't affect anything about my life. Because I know that it doesn't matter. You could be a million screaming voices saying something wrong doesn't make it right, ever.
Sure. Also, it's never usually that many. You know, it might be like 50 bad
like
guys.
4.
Yeah. And before you know, the views might be like 50,000. So on average, it all worked out, you know.
Also, people are way less likely to speak up when they enjoy something than when they dislike it. Like when people dislike it, they're usually more reactive and they share more. Like, so that's what I was.
Do you think when you were doing interviews though, like there must have been an angle to which it also helped you get more interviews sometimes, right? That some of those same nerds maybe would be more open to doing interviews. Someone pretty who comes and asks them instead of fucking Loco coming over going, "Excuse me, Santorin," and Santorin's like, "Oh, fuck, I have to talk to this guy again." But it was 5 years ago. Let me go, Loco. When does it ever end? You know?
Yeah, I mean, okay. So throughout my entire, like, totally candidly speaking, my entire esports career, I had a boyfriend that whole time. He wasn't in esports, and I never like had a thing with anyone in them. But 100%, like, truth is that there were many times where I was like pursued by professional gamers and people I worked with, and I just wasn't interested. And like they were mostly nice about it. I only have one really creepy experience, but like and I won't say who it was, but someone basically like followed me into a bathroom and like tried to like.
It's all right. It's okay. Wait, listen. We don't need to know any crazy details. All that matters
so
now is
wild.
Loco said sorry, and we're doing the episode, and we're putting that all behind us. There we go. There we go. There we go.
Oh my god, I knew that was coming. I knew that was fucking coming. I knew that was fucking coming.
Whatever.
Oh my god.
No, he's never gotten that close.
Oh really? Oh my god.
Right, what about this then? Is there a reasonable question or topic that chat would like to talk about? Can be about anything, to be
Absolutely
honest.
anything.
Okay.
If it's anything esports related, you can do that too.
Chat ask something. Oh my god.
Arrest Loco. What? Oh my god. Don't clap. Was it me?
No, it was me. I'll stop clapping.
Too loud noise.
Can we talk about LCF? Oh, actually, one thing. Let me see. Favorite after party story.
Actually, I've got a question in the, for 1 second. What about this then? So, see if you can find a good question there, Loco. Here's my question, Moon. Is what would you describe, like, from what people see on stream, what are like talent at LCS and people like that like behind the scenes? Because people only know them and they think they know them pretty well because they see them on camera so much. But are they different off the camera? Are any of them like way cooler than you thought?
Way cooler than I thought. Oh my gosh. It's actually interesting because people are way different on and off camera. Mostly they're better off camera, actually. Most of them are just like more comfortable and just like better off camera. I think the most surprising friendship or like person I met would have been Doublelift, Peter. He was the person that I think is, how do I explain it? It's not like he's like misunderstood. He's very honest and he is himself, but like people think he was like this big asshole back in the day, and like when I met him, that was at that
Loco
time.
still does.
Oh my god.
Keep going.
I think straight up, I think Double was probably nice to you because you were hot.
Okay, that's fine. I don't think he likes white girls, but I don't know though. But he was a really good friend of mine. But anyways, like I think he was impressive and like what's that word? Surprising, because he was deeper, I would say. Like some of them are deeper. Like I don't know how to explain it, man. It sounds like strange. It's a really hard question to answer.
No, the thing is, I know what you mean. Like, for example, people like, I think Doublelift, Bjergsen's a good example. You can actually have conversations with these guys. And they are thinkers, you know, they have thought about their careers. They're not just, they're not just teenagers in that sense, you know, they have real addicts at this point in time.
Like I would go to parties at his house and he would be sitting on his computer or like up in his room, like doing something else, like not caring about like the sort of like more shallow things going on around him. And I don't know, I thought that was like unique and surprising, because when you see him on camera, everyone's like, oh, this like cocky asshole, but like in real life he was a lot more like grounded.
Yeah,
even though he's still cocky.
You hear that, Loco? He has like depth to him. He's a little bit more quiet. That makes girls pursue him. They get into. Ooh, he's interesting.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
You're just out there. Loco's out there fucking twerking, trying to floss on kids with his fucking Nike Air Maxes or whatever he's just got in. The Air Force Ones, right? There's another one you and two, Loco.
Man,
Loco was the #1 most person I was warned about in esports.
Oh my god, Moon, let's not go there. Let's not fucking go there.
What was the warning? What was the warning?
Lots of, you know, like I'm a girl and he was like a guy that like lots of people liked at the time, and it's like the community. It was like sort of like that kind of thing, right? But anyways, but like I wasn't gonna not in depth on that part. But the thing is like he was also a person that on this topic surprised me. The first time we ever hung out, he was very kind to me. He introduced me to a lot of people, like very, I don't know how to explain it. You were really like friendly, and like he gave me an interview, and he was very like, he was open, welcoming almost, and not creepy at all.
No.
So it was surprising.
Yeah.
Well
done, Loco. So what you did is you introduced it to people.
Now he's
of course. The game plan's obvious at this point in time. No, what's great is what that means is that Loco has learned and grown, because what he did is he introduced Moon to a lot of people that he knew, thereby basically establishing social validation within the group. So she would consider him to have higher social value. He then was very kind to her, seemingly with no demand of any sort of reciprocation, which naturally, actually, studies have shown, make people want to do things in return for you to repay your kindness.
Oh my god.
And then he waited his time, you know, he was waiting to... Listen, Loco was, from day one, he was just planning everything.
5 years in the plan, so
exactly.
It's been a minute. He's a real slow burner.
Okay, well, Moon, I'll be honest. I'll give you my first impression of you, and then what I think of you now, and then since you gave me
what was the warning everyone gave you before you met her?
What?
A lot of people thought about me that weren't true.
Before I met Moon, Moon was like someone pretty, someone doing interviews, and someone that was like very bubbly, and my instant like, e-girl radar went off. I'm like, be careful of this girl. Like, this girl's gonna be an e-girl. This girl's gonna be clingy. This girl's like one of those girls that tries to get in the scene for the wrong reasons. And I did the interview with Moon. And to be completely honest, I felt the same way about her afterwards. I thought she was just an e-girl. I thought she was just pretty. And I thought she was in the scene to be in the scene.
Really quick, interrupting this. When I interviewed him, the guy who helped me write my interview for him, like, basically, I'm not going to say his name, but he, like, tried to sabotage me and told me that Loco was the owner of his team so that I would ask him about being the owner so that I would, like, be wrong. In my interview. Like, he made me say the wrong thing to sound stupid. And it worked! Okay, go ahead. Fuck that guy.
And then I thought of that way about Moon for such a long time, and then I think it was like 4 years after I've known her. So my old roommate took my there was a girl that's a friend of mine that took over my lease when I moved to San Fran for a brief time. And when I got back to LA, I went to hang out with my friend from San Fran. And for some random ass reason, Moon is living in the same room that I used to live in with my roommate. I had just moved back
from Korea, and I just became best friends with Barb, and I was living with Barb for a short period of time. So I was like randomly at her house. That's why.
What the fuck is wrong with you all? Are you aware you like live in a massive like metropolitan city? Like you could just all live anywhere, do anything. Instead, it's like, oh no, if I'm gonna move to the next part of LA, though, I need to have 4 other people from esports come and live. Why is that your approach?
What? No.
You know, there's some other person in esports, and you're renting their ex apartment, and then he moves in. It's like some fucking game of like
we all do kind of live together.
Yeah. It's pretty weird, isn't it? It's like your version. You think that like what's the name of that house that Scara was in, like that content house?
Offline TV.
You think your approach is that the whole city of LA is your offline TV, and it's just it's about 20 people you know in streaming that you spend all your time with in every activity.
But
it's like Seinfeld.
Funny enough, my current roommate is also a friend of Moon and my old roommate Barb. Yeah, so all interconnected.
Anyways, so wait, how does that turn into this? Yeah.
Alright, so when I met you for like the second time, so this time when I met Moon, we actually like talked. We actually went out, and my initial image was so strong. I just viewed her as like, oh, she's a Twitch streamer. Oh, she's this. Like, there's nothing underneath the surface. And when we actually talked, there was a lot of substance, and there was a lot of like, holy shit, she's just not like a Twitch streamer. She's just like beyond that. So my first impression was
surprising people.
Yeah, but you give off that vibe that you're just like looks and nothing else.
It's really hard to look at someone who like my outlook on life is really unique, and it shocks people. Some people don't understand it. Like I like appearances. I'm a ballerina, lifelong dancer. I like working out. I like showing off. I'm very comfortable with myself. I live in like a fantasy. I dress up all the time. Like I've been doing that since I was a little girl. I know I look like all I care about is like the look, but that's not even my favorite thing about like life or like anything. I'm nothing like what people see, and I think that's so funny because people tell me this all the time.
What's your favorite thing about life?
Well, art, all 100% art. I would say like immersion in fantasy, immersion in escapism, finding things that make like everything is so dark in reality and doesn't make so much sense. I think that art is our escape. It's the closest thing we have to like magic. Like literally, I'm like so gay about games and art, music, dance. I could go on forever.
That's a very, very pretentious way of saying you like anime as well.
Anime's alright. I'm a bigger fan of things like
It's just a joke, love. It's just a joke. I agree with you though. That principle though that you said there is actually something I agree with in my life philosophy, which is that people, if you look at the normal world, right, the official story of the world, people will tell you that like your dreams, like literal dreams you have at night, your imagination, oh, don't worry about those. That's just nothing. That's just like something imaginary that it doesn't mean anything. It's like, I sometimes tell people, if you look around any room and you're living in like a normal country, every single item in that room is probably not organic. It's probably like some sort of an invention or a device or runs on some sort of scientific principle. Like every single one of those came out of someone's imagination. The little hole inside someone's head where no one knows where anything that comes from or how it's affected. No one knows where the memories are stored. That literally is the entire human civilization.
Every single
We'd all just be in a jungle or something right now, you know.
Whenever I was really sad, my dad used to tell me when I was a little girl, like, you're the same matter of the people that created language. You're the same like system that created science, that like looked at the stars and decided to go to the moon. Like people are so like they have so much potential, and there's so much like potential for creation and art, and that was really inspiring to me. It's like my I'm sorry I'm not talking about sex and e-girl stuff, chat. Shocker.
It's all right. Just doing a bit of Cosmos and chill.
Cosmos and chill.
Sounds like it, right?
That's a problem on my stream too. People always like come in and they're like, "Oh, dance," and I'm like, "Yeah, I do dance often. I drink and I go fucking crazy. I stream myself on the streets in different cities in the world for sure." But like 99% of the time, I get like too philosophical, or like I just spend too much time like going in depth on games or like things like that, and they're very surprised, and it's like constant. It's a daily thing.
Why did you end up leaving esports and like I guess moving to Korea and like just dropping interviews completely?
100% like truth about when leaving esports was one, I felt like I was doing the same thing over and over again. I felt like I love games so much. I still do, but like I'm not a person that like sticks to one thing and just does that forever. I am a very eclectic person. I like to move around, and like I just got sort of tired of asking the same types of questions, like why'd you play this character in this like term of the game, like why did you go here, like I understand how important those things are, and I understand like if like relevant to the times, and I still watch, but it's like I was sick of being the person asking the same question. I wanted to do more with myself, so I had an opportunity to I had an opportunity to become a full-time streamer. I did full-time streaming, and then I got an opportunity to dance and model professionally in Korea. I was in Korea training at 1 Million Dance Company. I did choreo for music videos, K-pop stars. I was doing makeup brands April Skin. I'm still sponsored by Medicube, lots of stuff. Like I was there just doing not Twitch content. Like I do so much more outside of Twitch. People see my Twitch and they think it looks like that, so that's all you do, but it's literally like 4 to 10 hours of my day, 3 to 4 days of 7 days, you know? There's so much more. So I don't know, I do a lot of stuff not involved in even gaming. Mm-hmm. That's why I was everywhere.
Yeah. I actually feel the same way about I feel the same way about interviews right now. I think interviewing can be so boring, especially when it's weekly at LCS. You ask very similar questions, and especially around this time, like where it's not quite playoffs yet, like it's just so monotone. It's just so fucking boring.
And I didn't want to like pretend like I was super interested. I'm not a fake like disingenuous person. I'm not gonna like act like I was just involved still I wasn't.
Oh, fair enough. Right, this is where I bring the executive veto in. Loco.
Okay.
I thought that we now start taking some questions.
Okay, sure.
Because like that whole last like 5 minutes, listen, it was all right to listen to, but I was sat there just thinking I can't do anything with this bit.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So, no, it was perfectly fine as a story. There was no in, you know. I couldn't just roast you like, yeah, your life was weird. What the fuck are you doing with that? You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, no time for roasting.
All right. Will women ever compete at the same level as males in esport games? Should the leagues be separated? This one's actually a huge contention. And
I can actually tell you something. You'll know this, Loco.
Okay.
There have obviously been women who did compete at a professional level. One of them is someone no doubt you know, Hafu, who is obviously a streamer, was in league at one point in time. Back in the day, if you go back about, I think it's 12 years now, she used to be on one of the best World of Warcraft 3v3 teams when she was an esport. Like it used to have a lot of viewers. The prize money from Blizzard was very good. It's the same game that actually the Ocelot used to play before League of Legends, and I know since then I think she also was like a good player in Hearthstone. Maybe I think she pro in that game as well. She actually, some of as far as I know, is legit. Like she was good in a few games.
I love Hearthstone.
She's a cool person as well.
I don't know. I can't really say anything on this topic because I've never tried to be a professional gamer. That's never been. And I don't know a lot about like the level, like I'm not someone that is a fair judge or can like, I don't deserve to have an opinion on that at all. I think of course anyone can do what they want, but I don't know if there's science behind it that I'm unaware of or not. I don't know. Seems like anyone could do anything. I don't know.
I think there's definitely a way better shot of girls being pro in esport than in like sports. I'm sure people are going to bring up like scientific research regarding like reaction time and hand-eye coordination, but it is way fucking easier in esports compared to like, let's say like basketball, soccer, or anything like that requires like heavy like physical exercise. Like I don't think like girls can ever compete on the same level with men at. In terms of like why it hasn't happened, I think there's very little avenues for girls to like become professional players, and like the journey for a girl becoming a pro versus a guy becoming a pro is just so different and so much like
the lifestyle. Like, oh my god, these guys literally just like go from whatever town they're in, wherever they get good enough and put on a team, to living in like a house of any size depending on the team. Like, it could be like a freaking mansion, or it could be like a bunch of apartments in the same building, and you just live with like 7 to like 8 other guys, and every single day you wake up and you eat and you're on a schedule. Like, you know, this was your life. You know what I mean? Like, that's for guys, all with guys, that's fine, but like imagine a girl going into that situation and being comfortable with that. Like, there's a lot of other things that have nothing to do with gameplay that are like life elements that I'm sure they consider. That would freak me the fuck out.
Yeah. Plus, I would just say in general, if you just look, like if I think of male friends I've had, female friends I've had, all the male friends to some degree, because some of my friends were always nerds, were always super into something. It might not even be esports, right? Some of them back in the day, it was like, Warhammer, those little models you put in and you play the game. Yeah, they're all into something, and that, no, but that's not a competitive thing. They're not going to make any money from it. Whereas like the girls I know, they all had their own hobbies, but they were never, not many of them were like super into one as much, and like giving up everything for it and like insanely into it. So I think in general, I just haven't met as many women who seemed like they would want to go to the hardcore life of a pro gamer, because pro gamer is not even just gamer. Like anyone could play the game, but do you want to play the game 9 hours a day as hard as possible? If you lose, no one gives a fuck. Like, that's a pretty brutal life. I don't know many people who want to do that, male or female, man.
I mean, also, whenever I play under Locodoco, I get harassed to no end. Like, people are like, they ask about random shit, they talk about this, they talk about that, they bring up my past. And from what I heard, when my female friends play, and if their name has anything like that is remotely female within it, like, you get harassed the same way, like whenever you're just playing solo queue. So I'd imagine like the path to be a pro for a female gamer is just much more rougher. Not even just like there's not enough of them, so we don't get a lot of people. Even the ones that do play, they go through so much harassment.
Sure.
Agreed. Yeah, definitely.
Because I think on the problem with that topic is, like, definitely everyone goes through harassment who's famous no matter what. It's just that in this particular case, I've often told this story in the past. Like, I obviously get people who tell me I'm a moron or I'm wrong or I'm biased or what. That's like usually about as far as it goes. It's very rare you get anyone who tells you they're going to kill you or anything crazy. But I actually have known some people who showed me some logs. I actually did a video where I explored this topic once, and the ones that were sent to some of the people who were like female journalists and stuff, some of those were outrageous. The messages they'd had privately from people who were just complete randoms, like not someone they've ever even interacted with, like outrageously like horrible messages, basically, where they were like basically depicting their sick fantasy of what they do and how they'd kill the person, and like just stuff that was like way beyond the pale for what I've personally experienced. So I will say to anyone out there who thinks like it's just women going like, oh, you can't handle if you can't take the heat, get out the kitchen in this metaphor. It's like, no, like certainly there are some people who are drama queens and might blow everything out of proportion, but there is also like a level that if you're not male, you haven't experienced that. So you have to, that's why I think it's more important to hear people's experiences, because when you hear someone's story, then you can kind of put yourself in their position. Yeah, you can't, if you're just a normal guy online, how do you know what it's like for someone else? You barely know what it's like for someone who's like you, but in a different position.
True. Exactly. It's hard for people to put themselves in other people's perspectives, like seriously hard, shockingly hard sometimes.
All right. Chat, ask more questions. While we ask questions, let me go through the topics and see if any of them were good.
On the like harassment subject though, it's like, what's that word? It was interesting when you're like, some people will be very dramatic and they respond very dramatically to it and like get really scared. And honestly, like I'm really grateful that I'm not that kind of person, because like that would be really emotionally like devastating. It'd be really hard. So I've gotten some pretty fucked up stuff myself, truly.
Yeah. I mean, as anyone who's been famous online knows, eventually what you do is you can sort of, you learn to tell like, it's just probably a random account just saying something stupid, like that person's never going to meet me, they're never going to do anything. You can usually, I think, have a sense if it's something that seems plausible. The ones that I'm more worried is if it's like an account that, many times has done this, it's like a real person's account, and, that's when you probably should start to worry. Luckily, that's not as often, I have to say. It doesn't feel like it's as often.
Oh, this one's a good one. Do you guys think women have an advantage in streaming as opposed to competing in esports? So basically, the question is, do you think women have it easier for streaming?
I could give you one reason why they do scientifically have an advantage, which is whenever they've done studies of how either men or women react to women, whether it's people in their close circle, people who are famous, they found that generally both sexes tended to have a slightly higher opinion of women. Actually, they both tended to like the woman by default more often, or if it was someone they already knew, they really liked them even more. So I actually think in that sense, you should be a natural advantage to be a woman.
I don't understand personally, like this might trigger people, but I don't really care, because I honestly don't understand what is so hard for people to accept about like reality. Like, people like girls, you like girls, you probably have tabs open right now, like all of you guys, like, or today or later on, like everyone thinks about and gravitates towards girls naturally, scientifically, and you're angry because we are born as who we are and we do something that we like about it. I don't know, it's just so odd. Like, of course I think you have an advantage. Not, by the way, also above that, of course, girls have an advantage making money on stream versus esports because it is infinitely harder to be high level skill. Like you have to be an actually high level skill to be an esports professional. Any single person right now can literally open the Twitch app on their phone or their tablet or their computer and they can make content. You don't have to be shit at shit. You can be the most beautiful person and everyone will love you, but that doesn't actually mean there's anything there. And you could also be a person that has like 6 viewers and isn't but so talented. And you know what I mean? It doesn't like yes, there is a general advantage because there is so much more opportunity. Yes, girls have a greater advantage because we're naturally more well received. Like it's reality. There's no opinion to have about reality. Like you can't have an opinion about fucking 2 + 2. Can you? Do you think about that at night? 2 + 2? No. It's like, why are you mad about science with girls? I don't know. To me, it's very silly. It's very distracting. Perhaps it's honestly like useless to think about.
It's also definitely exaggerated, like when people are like, oh, she's just famous because she's a girl. It's like, well, no, there's loads of girls on the internet, mate. Like, not all of them have like 10,000 concurrent viewers. So odds are the one that does must have some charisma or being entertaining in some way or be able to engage people. So you got to get anyone who succeeds in any area of life, in my opinion, get some credit at a minimum. Come on.
I'm actually the full reverse. I think guys have it a lot easier when it comes to streaming other than girls. So when you just think like average guy to average girl, like
this is some pure Loco right here.
I even think guys' chats are shitty.
All right.
Guys' chats are meaner. Like your community is meaner to you than girls' communities are meaner to them.
That's just my community specifically. They love shitting on me.
When you get Loco, when you get shit on, you don't put up a fucking Amazon wish list to get bought the first 10 things off it, do you, mate? Like, come on, sit the fuck. Like, I'll give you a chance here.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and be as open-minded as possible.
Who?
Imagine I'm a different person.
All right.
Who do you think?
What do you think the majority viewership for Twitch is? Do you think it's male or female?
I would say it's overwhelmingly male.
Overwhelmingly male, right? If you look at the top streamers, it's also overwhelmingly male because guys like they're not here to watch like sexual content. Like that can be a draw, but the click off rate for girls is so high. Like if you watch someone,
watch for like 6 seconds.
Yeah, if you watch someone because they're hot, you'll watch for like 5 to 6 seconds, and afterwards you'll be like, okay, she's hot. Now I'm out. Like they're primarily here to see gaming or entertaining content, and that's why like the top majority of the streamers are men. Cause the majority of the viewership is male, looking for more male-oriented content, and males make male-oriented content.
So your point is
let me ask you.
Counter my point. Okay,
no, they're both complementary, I think.
I agree. You get me. Okay, so you're saying that, yes, the majority of the biggest streamers are men, but that does not mean that the average success rate for gender is higher as man or girl. Or
here's the thing, I would guess, Moon, let me see if you think it's the same. Loco's point is about the absolute top people, like the Dr. Disrespect, Ninja. Like, yeah, I agree, Loco. There aren't many women that are at that level. But the difference is, if we're talking about like every man and every woman, well, the difference is an average girl who's at least average, decently looking, isn't an idiot, can speak English. I personally would guess she has a slightly better chance to succeed on Twitch than equally average man with no additional skills who's the same, but just a man.
Man, there's a video that I want to link. I'm gonna link for the YouTube viewers like down. It's the one Devin Nash did on like why male streamers are more successful than female streamers. It has like it has like so much other things that go into it. But it has a lot to do with like click off rates and like people not respecting female streamers for anything other than like looks. Like if you're a female streamer, like it's the same thing like we talked about regarding the whatchamacallit, like why females aren't pro. Like you go through so much more harassment and you get asked regarding so much. They did like a giant sound, or not a sound cloud, what is it called, a word cloud on
where
like
you make all the words,
on like male streamer versus like female streamer. Like male streamer, it's a lot of emotes, and then when you go to female streamer, it's like boob, tits, like hot. Like that's the majority of like what chat is saying when you make like the sound cloud for female streamers and the average male streamer.
Word cloud,
Word cloud.
So yeah, I genuinely feel like male streamers have it easy. Devin Nash did a great video on it, like explained it way better than me, and I was you guys' point of view before watching that video. Oh, of course it's easier to be a girl streamer, like you just have to be hot and you just have to show up, but it is not like that at all.
I think another thing that's really interesting is how much, like, I personally never think about these topics alone, ever. I've never even sat and like wondered or like thought about like what's that, or like how can I take advantage, or like is it unfair to me as a girl that I'm being talked to this way, or is it, or you know what I mean? I just don't think about. I feel like it's so unnecessary. It's like a subject I feel like viewers think about more, or like people that are negatively affected, or like, and I understand that, so I don't mean to be rude by it or anything, but it's just like, in the end, like, we all have like a freedom to just like create whatever content we like, and you have a freedom to support the content that you like. Would you rather have less freedom and see what you like? Is that really a better world? Like less freedom just so you specifically can have like what you want there available to you? Like, I don't know. People are so affected and like personally offended by things that they don't like being out there, that attack it. It's so weird. I don't understand.
Loco, let me counter your position by asking you this question. Who do you think would sell more bathwater? That girl, the gamer girl, or Dr. Disrespect? Because I guarantee you that girl would be selling fucking Olympic swimming pool levels of bathwater. Dr. Disrespect might get one really weird guy in like fucking Alabama to buy one bottle.
But long term, like Dr. Disrespect, like is making a career out of it. Like,
but you see what I mean? There's a different type of a fan.
Yeah, but like that's just them like selling sexuality, and like maybe it's more monetizable in the short term, but I think like long term it's like really hard for female streamers to like actually grow a brand. Like we can name like 10-20 male streamers that are successful, that have like a long-term career, like at the absolute top tier level. Like it's what, like Pokimane, Hafu, like for actual girls, like gamer streamers, like just pure gameplay. It's like what, Pokimane, Hafu. It's really hard to name a lot.
I don't really watch a lot of streamers, so I don't actually know, but I do agree it isn't. Yeah.
So where Loco literally knows about 700 girl streamers, didn't name check a single one of them there. He even probably going to host one after this episode. That's what a good friend he is. Like,
oh my god.
I also don't mind being a variety streamer. I'm 5 years long partnered on Twitch. I was partnered streaming games years before IRL even existed. So I am in no way offended when people look at me and they're like, "You're an IRL streamer." I'm like, okay, so you've never seen me. You're not around. Like, you don't know who I am. It's like, I don't know. It's silly. I see no problem with a wider variety of content. I'm an eclectic person. I stream more often because I can stream more things. Like, my life isn't just about like, and everyone, you can do whatever you want. You can sit and play games. I have 12-hour streams. I'll play games, and then like the next week I'm like in another state. Like, it doesn't matter what you do, but freedom should be allowed and freedom should be like accepted. People look at that and they think it means you have no talent because you do different things. It's like, no, every single thing that I'm doing, like I dance on stream, I sing on stream. Like there's so many other talents you can do that aren't just gaming. And I like that Twitch lets us show them off. I don't understand the hatred towards that at all. Like,
I've got a question for you. I want to get your take as a friend of Loco's, right? Yeah. Why does Loco not use Instagram very much? Like, you would think he'd be all over that, right? He loves fashion. He loves showing off who he's with. He loves name drop. He uses it every now and then. I would thought he would be one of those people on the daily grind, every day upload a split, trying to get his numbers up.
Maybe because no one wants to take his picture.
Oh my god.
Fucking hell. There we go. She's gone and said it, hasn't she? She's gone and said it now, Loco.
I feel like Loco probably gets dressed every day, and he's looking in the mirror and he's like, today someone's going to be like, you look so fly sitting there. I'm going to take a candid of you. But then they don't.
Wow. People take pictures of me all the time. People think I look cute.
Oh,
is there a reason you don't use Instagram more, Loco?
Why? I have no idea. I don't know.
I guess Twitter just has been my de facto one. And then, oh my fucking god, I never told this story on stream, but I'll tell the story on stream. So, I used to use Twitter and Snapchat a lot. Snapchat used to be my...
I bet you used to use Snapchat a lot.
I used to use it a lot. I used it.
And I bet you were one of those people who was like, someone only explained to you 3 months in, like, someone could just record all this shit that you're doing. And you're like, what? Holy no! I mean, that's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. Deleting people off really quickly.
So, I used Snapchat, and then this was like 3-4 years ago when I was a little bit more stupid and when I wasn't more single-minded about... When I was just basically more immature and was more of a... To easily explain it, when I was more of a fuckboy. So more of a fuckboy. So nowadays I'm much better. But anyways, on Snapchat there's a feature where it allows you to send to multiple people. So there were multiple women that I was talking to, and I was like, oh, this is so simple. Instead of just talking to them one by one, I can just send a snap.
And you didn't know that they could see that they were all being sent. So is this what's going to happen?
I made a snap saying, oh, I forgot what it was. It was like me like lip syncing. It was like me lip syncing, and then I added everyone. It was around like 12 people that I was talking to, and then I sent it, and then it instantly made a group. and this was like at 11 a.m. and then the girls started replying, and cause some of the girls were in esports, some of the girls weren't in esports, like they started talking to each other, and then some of them started.
It's the worst thing that could ever happen in a game, Loco. That's the worst thing that could ever happen.
And some of them were already friends, some of them weren't, but they became friends after. But they started uploading on Twitter, like, oh my god, it was literally the worst night of my life. So like the ones that were uploading on Twitter, like I personally called them and I apologized. I'm like, I'm so sorry, blah blah blah, like I'm so sorry.
No, like, wait a minute, he told you were breathtaking as well?
But
wait, okay, you really don't remember what it says? I really want to know what it said.
It wasn't a message, it was like a Snapchat video of like me out with friends like lip syncing and like just it was like asking like how you were doing or something. It wasn't like anything like overtly sexual, but it was like.
Look, here's the thing,
it was
Loco.
clearly flirty.
Yeah, it was clearly flirty.
If you didn't know that's how Snapchat functionality worked, you actually dodged a bullet on that one, mate. That could have been a lot worse. You might have been at like 2:30 a.m. and you think, well, we'll see who's up or whatever. You send out a picture.
You send a nude to everyone.
Yeah, shine them all in. There we go. And then they have a little group and they start going, oh. I didn't actually know it was that size. Interesting.
Wow, like did you? Well, no, when I saw it seemed a little bit. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're all just like saying.
Yeah, I just thought I was being efficient, but I couldn't sleep that night. I stayed up until like 5 a.m. and then like I was way too fucking tired, and then I went to sleep. Like I was just staying up waiting for like the other people to reply, because it was not just girls in United States, it was girls everywhere. So I was like, when they reply to that, I call them personally. I'm like, I'm so sorry, like could you please leave the group? I won't do this ever again.
By the way, can we just for one moment recognize, because I feel like we've all got lost in the story with the funny part of him sending it to all the messages, can we all just realize what a piece of shit Locodoco was?
Yeah, what the fuck?
What he thought it was 11 p.m. and he decided, I'm going to send a totally insincere message to 12 different people. And I'm so lazy, I won't even do it manually, because 12 is an awful lot. And he never even thought in that moment, my life's a bit out of control. He just thought, oh, it's good. Snapchat's got functionality to send it to all 12 with one button. You never thought to yourself at that point in time, oh yeah, maybe it wasn't even just the Snapchat feature, it's my life that's out of control right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you even said there was girls who weren't even in your continent. You were just setting it up for later. You were like, maybe if I send her 3 lip sync videos, then when I am in her country for IEM, then we meet up. Oh, hey, want to go to Korean barbecue?
Oh. Wait, I want to ask you guys a question. What do you guys genuinely think about like dating in esports, like dating people within esports and also dating people that are maybe fans? Like, what's your take on like dating within the esports circle?
I've never done it before in my whole entire career. I've never done that, and I don't think I ever would, because like has nothing to do with it's nothing to do with against them as people, or like I'm not saying it's not an attractive job. I'm saying like my own personal preference. I seriously like they either very very like very artsy like musicians, or like I don't know, people in different fields like
hey
are
Google,
more of an attractive.
can you sign me up for piano lessons?
I'm really hipster. No, like my ex was actually studying pharmaceuticals and he's a model. So like
Martin Shkreli.
But Martin Shkreli, dude, he's friends with him. That's such a small world. Okay. No, like I like either I don't know how to explain it. Like just I've never met anyone in esports that was that kind of person is all I'm trying to say. So I don't like think that like Life Drive is the sexually attractive one. I don't know how else to say it. No offense, guys. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to be a dick. I like musicians.
I would just say generally, I ascribe to that philosophy that says don't shit where you eat, which means if you're going to work in the esports industry.
Yeah, that's another thing.
You could make your life very, very hard if you date someone in the industry. Even if nothing goes crazy wrong, I always say this example. The most tame example of how it can go badly is maybe the worst is when people bring their girlfriend to the esports world and then she stays, and then the problem is they thought, oh, I'm just going to introduce her to all my friends at LCS here, and then my joke is, 6 months later when you've broken up with her and you're feeling a bit down about it, you go to the event and then you see her walk by with fucking Zion Spartan and you go like, oh Zion, a dagger in my heart,
oh my god,
and then he's just at home with his fucking head and shoulders flowing locks, just serenading her with fucking amazing songs from Disney movies. She's loving it. You're back at home crying into a pillow, sending out like 15 Snapchat group messages of you fucking with your butt cheeks on a glass wall or something. I don't know.
Your elo is decaying because you're too depressed to play. Like I'm not even high elo anymore. How am I gonna get the next one?
Like people used to think I was being
really quick.
Yeah, we'll keep
okay,
going.
I'm so sorry. Thank you.
No, Loco, people used to think I was actually like joking or being sarcastic or being sexist. When I used to say I purposely choose girlfriends who don't even know how computers work.
Yeah.
That's not a joke. That was my actual aim. I would, even in Korea, I would pick the girl who only knows what phones are. Like her idea of like computers, she has a MacBook. That's it. You know, she doesn't know anything about esports, doesn't know anything about computer games. If you tell her some shit like, "Oh, there's fucking Faker," she'd just be like, "Who is Faker?" And it's like, perfect. You are the girl of my dreams, because now nothing could go wrong. Nobody can get to you. You can never come online when you get mad and do one of those twitlongers. There's never going to be any suggestive Instagram stories about why someone broke up with you or was bastard. Never can anything go wrong in this scenario. So all I'm saying is, just look for love in the right places, guys.
So you've never ever dated anyone that has anything to do with
I've never
esports?
actually dated anyone in esports. I've slept with some people. But, you know.
Oh my god.
Well, what do you want? What do you expect? I'm a human being. My literal biological prerogative is to try and spread my seed as far and wide as possible.
But we're
and make
not
more fucking human beings, isn't it? Like,
we're not wild animals, Doran. We're not wild animals. Like we have self-control.
Cosplay is a wild animal.
Oh my god. Oh man, I want to
Maybe
tell.
I've been playing a bit too much of the fighting games. Edgy joke. Leave that in.
I'll tell this story when Moon's here, but I'll tell you guys why. Like, what is it? I used to be like a mega fuckboy, and why I'm not a mega fuckboy, and I actually think like it's really important in esports to like kind of know what's going on. Like, you know what you said regarding people dating like other people's like
Exes or people in you,
and
yeah.
That's
people
like
in your life.
It's really common in League. Like, how common is it in CS:GO?
Well, the main reason it's more commonly Loco is fairly obvious. Like, you have LCS in the same spot and everyone lives there and all the teams are there and, you know, the teams that you know each other. Well, the problem is, think about it, in CSGO, most teams don't live in team houses. They all live at home. So as a result, like, if I live in one part of Denmark and you live in totally other part, odds are that we're even around each other's governments, not as high, you know. So there isn't as much of that. There is a little bit, but it's more just like, as in the same girl went to a different team with a different players. It's not as much like ridiculous ones, I don't think.
Ooh, are you talking about homie hop? Or wait, what do you call it?
Homie hopping?
Team hopping?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Have you seen a lot of that, Moon? People dating multiple people from same teams?
Same team. Ooh. Let me remember. Okay, for sure, there are people who have dated in esports. I think that there are, and I want to say this to be very clear, there are people who have genuinely dated numerous people in esports.
Sure,
I
of
for
course.
sure know they liked all of the people they dated.
Yeah,
They
just
were
it's
real.
coincidence.
Yeah, I'm not calling every person that does this bad, but I have seen so many fucking girls that are literally going through like the Twitter like team like on like search like, oh, who else is on this team, like fucking any pro that I can flirt with. Like I've seen literally with my own eyes both. It's a crazy world. There used to be like literally like specific groups of people that would all together, like the girls they're all friends with each other. They would together go to all the different team parties and they would always just be flirting, clearly like trying. I never saw any of them really like succeed, or maybe they were just very flirty and they were just like, I don't know, like having fun just being flirty. But there's like some groups of girls that were reoccurringly flirting with pros, different houses and stuff. It exists. It exists.
So this is why I'm like really scared of girls in esports, and like you really have to be wary, because initially.
Question. Yeah, how do you feel as like being the men in this situation? Are you super wary of like girls that flirt with you?
So,
do girls flirt with you?
No, not very often.
What about you, Thorin? No, sometimes. Are you? I don't know if you have.
Believe it or not, one of the skills I have is, luckily it's just being an arsehole naturally, is there's another thing. I once read a study, right, that the most attractive male look to an average woman is actually not a smile. Like a smile in some senses can actually indicate that, you know, you're weak or that you're having to try and like show the person that you're kind. So with a man, believe it or not, Loco, it is to have a very stern look where you're kind of like focused on something, which if you know, it's just I have like that resting bitch face like that. So that actually works for me, man. I just stand there unimpressed and then they just start being nice to me.
This coincides with something I've been saying on my stream for years. I have a very specific thing where if I'm looking for someone like in that way, guys that smile too much, and especially on social media, if every single picture of them is just like so cheesy smiling, I find it to be so disingenuous and I don't find it attractive. I literally look for guys that don't smile. So I'm saying this has been on my stream for a minute.
All I'm going to say, Moon,
I'm not
is
disagreeing with you. That's science.
if you go to Loco's Twitter or Instagram, every picture is him, huge cheesy smile. Kawaii girls. And he wonders why they're all like, why are they playing hard to get? It's like, I can't imagine Loco.
Hard to get. Maybe some people do like different things though. I'm not saying everyone's like me.
Yeah, of course.
But what about you? How is it like? How do you feel with
victims.
girls being potentially like clout chasing?
So it's very like if you're in the game and you know what's going on, it's perfectly fine. Like if
It's
they
pretty
want
obvious as well.
like if they want something casual, then I'm down with like something casual. And long as you're playing
so it's mutual.
yeah, long as it's mutual, I think it's completely fine. I think where it gets fucked in esports is where the guy or the girl doesn't read the other one's intentions very well, either on purpose or not on purpose, and they get their heart like broken to kabillion pieces.
Dude, I've seen that. Oh, it's so sad. I forgot about that side too. Go ahead.
I know a mad cringy story. Here's the thing: I'll protect everyone's identity in the story.
Okay.
I won't mention the game. I won't mention the
I
country. I'll just
wonder
tell you
if
what
I
happened.
know.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
Luckily, I don't think
I
you
won't
will. But
say.
it's a good story anyway. This person had been dating someone again, like someone within, an esports context. He knew this girl, and I don't know what was going on privately. So I'm going to guess, they're probably having good conversations. Maybe they'd been dating a little bit. I know maybe he'd like met her at a few events, and then for some mad reason, this guy decided to to just do that thing where you try and like take it like 4 levels higher out of nowhere. So even though they were only sort of like roughly dating, he literally, because he'd like had a bad argument with her or something, like when he'd been at some event, he'd like messaged her and they'd had an argument. He came to the airport when she was coming home and he just had a ring and he was just on one knee and he was like, do you marry me? And then she just said no, straight up, just right in his face, right in front of everyone in the whole airport. Like, I always wanted to know, not even the moment, like, what that feel like? What's the moment, like, 4 seconds later when you realize you have to get up off your knees, put the ring back away, put it in your pocket, drive home by yourself, not tell anyone what you did that day, try and forget this girl forever, and then hope Thorin never tells that story abstractly about you on a podcast so someone can guess who you are.
No, dude, if that person is theoretically watching right now, they just like...
We feel so bad for you. But
That person-
at the same time,
We feel so
you're
bad.
absolutely bodied. Sorry,
That was
like...
a terrible idea.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the problem with that
low
one is
IQ play.
Exactly. The problem is,
Total.
listen, I feel really bad for you now. That sounds horrible, but you also did completely misplay your hand there. That's like if you're playing League of Legends, if you just solo invade, flash onto all the other team and they kill you, like that's kind of your fault as well. Come on, you got to take some blame. Come on, take some blame, guys.
Oh man. I actually have a great story for you guys, and it's a very recent story. It happened about 2 weeks
The
ago.
joke being, by the way, the moon, because the other joke built into that is now everyone will assume that story was about Loco, even though it wasn't.
It was about me and Moon. It was about me and
obviously
Moon.
wasn't yeah, exactly.
I fly a lot.
She told him, listen, I'm not going to marry you, Loco. I'll come on one podcast, and after that, we're done, okay? That's the agreement. Like,
Wow, better make this podcast last.
He's like, you have to host me at 50 times total, or I'll tell everyone. So he's on like 6 now. And
I think he's got that sort of protection racket running with a lot of girls. He seems to have to host a lot of them instantly right after the stream, and then they're like, oh, Loco's good. Well done, Loco.
Oh my god.
For now, the email stays in the
And
draft box.
I also want to say that I think it's funny that no one can say I'm leeching because I did not come on your stream until I had more followers than you on Twitch.
Okay. You were never
Wait, she has
leeching.
more followers than you on Twitch.
Fuck yeah, I do.
What? I'm at like 91k. What are you at?
95.
What the? You're barely over me. What the fuck? This is like...
I dig. I don't give a fuck.
Still more
I
than
have
91.
more followers than you.
I still more than 91 more.
Wait, okay,
Okay.
Thorin, how many followers do you have? I have no idea.
I've only ever streamed once, so I have no idea. And 0, I'd assume.
He's got like...
Oh, really?
He's really high on
I don't
both
do
YouTube
streaming.
and... Yeah, YouTube and Twitter.
Yeah, I always see your content on YouTube. I did not know about. I seriously don't spend a lot of time watching streams. I'm sorry.
I don't watch them either, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Uh, wait.
I love doing them though. I love.
I like it. Here's the
I
thing,
miss
though. I
my
will
chat.
say,
I miss you
I
guys.
just want to say for everyone who's in the chat, though, I don't watch Loco's stream just because I don't watch anyone's stream. I've got time. I've got my own life. But I do appreciate when you guys on Twitter send me Twitch clips of ridiculous shit he did on the stream. Because if it's good enough, I might mention it on the next episode. So keep hitting me up, all you little snitch bitches out there, giving me all the shit that he does something. Because like, there's one, I don't know if you saw it, Moon, where he was like into some girl who was like doing a K-pop dance, and then he found out from his friend Blastoise, that guy, you know him. He found
Yeah.
out that like the girl actually thinks he's cute, and you should see this guy's reaction. It was like God's body on the moon, like it's like just going crazy all over the place.
How did it feel?
Any luck with that? Any luck with that
Yeah,
direction?
how
No.
that was progression.
Well, I'll tell you my recent story. I'll tell you my recent story. This actually has a lot to do with it. So, as we talked about, we all know the game that's being played in esport. Like, girls like guys for the wrong reason, guys like girls for the wrong reason. So that's just my assumption. Anytime I meet a girl and like they like me, my instant assumption is like, you like me for the wrong reasons. Especially when I meet her and like.
Do you think that's a self-deprecating error?
It sounds like he's a fucked up guy in a way, doesn't it? Like, that's the first thing he thinks.
Yeah, that's kind of sad.
Well, because
you're not that ugly. Just kidding.
So no, I've liked girls in esports, and that's the problem. When you like people in esports and you don't hold back, and then you actually get like you find out they like you for the wrong reasons, and then like they were like leeching off you, they were social climbing off you, they were dating you for the wrong reasons. Like your heart gets broken into like a billion pieces.
Loco, I've got to tell you this. This is an intervention
sad
right
now.
here.
Yeah. This is sad. Like, this is real.
These are all girls, Loco, that you've met a few times. Like you've maybe dated them like 5-10 times max. Like you got to understand. Here's a secret to all the young men out there in the world. Women will tell you if they want in a relationship, just honesty, just be truthful. No, that is what they say they want. What they actually want is for you to behave in a way that they like. So first of all, you have to learn what they like, how they like you to behave. You have to filter your fucking personality through that. Like it's like trying to fit a fucking square peg through a round hole. Like, get the motherfucker through. You get it through. On the other side, you pretend like that was easy. Oh, it was a very comfortable process fitting into this relationship. And then what you do is you don't tell them all your fucking secrets, Loco. You what an idiot. If you tell them that, they're going to know who you are and why you are a broken person, and they're going to correctly assess they should leave you. What you do is you drip feed them those little stories over the years. You know, one night you're a bit drunk, you get a bit emotional, you tell them one story. 5 years later, you don't tell some of that shit except to your wife that you've been married with for 10 years. You've got the kids and the mortgage. She's locked in at that point in time. Now there's nowhere she can go. Now you can give her all the real shit and tell her what you really think.
Nobody ever married
exactly.
This guy. He
there you
has
go.
a lot
I've just told you exactly, everyone in this chat, how you
it's
can
also
actually...
a cheat code. Cheat code, but
That'll
girls
work.
don't.
Work.
Guys do it. Girls don't.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
I'm being nice to everyone. I'm too
unbiased.
unbiased.
There you go.
So I recently
that was fucked. Because
I feel like Loco just gives too much of his heart. You know, he tells them all like his dreams, his hope, and then they just crush him like a motherfucker.
No, Lauren, I think that you're right in a sense of like generalism, but I think specifically about him that I think it was deeper. Like I think it happened once, and he's like, never again.
Yeah, never.
Oh right, it just hurt him too much.
No, I think he had like, or it seems like because he's like, no, it was like deeper. Like I've seen not even like saying anything about specific people, but I've seen a few friends of mine in esports have girls date them for long term that we were clout chasing. I mean, like a year plus sometimes, like literally immediately left for someone else on another team. Like didn't like I've seen it exists, and like it's sad. So like there are more examples than just like the 2 dates. Some clout chasers are in for that long clout.
So I was seeing this girl since like it was late May.
You're gonna tell the story.
Yeah. So
I didn't think you were gonna tell it. Okay.
I was seeing this girl since late May, and like we were just like talking, we were just flirting, and to be completely honest, I was seeing other people, but I wasn't lying to her about it. Like I told her like I wasn't exclusive, and she knew that I was seeing multiple people and that she was one of them. And our relationship progressed, and it came to a point where she put like a foot down, where she was like, if we're gonna continue this, like you have to be exclusive with me. And I agreed to be exclusive with her, and I started opening up, and it's something that's really incredibly hard for me to do, like genuinely open up to girls, because I've been hurt before, especially with girls in esports. This is not a girl like that's in esport at all. Like she works for a company that works for an esport company, but she's like so unconnected to esports. So she was, I never guessed in like a million years like this girl would be clout chasing. Like I thought she was like some super nice girl that like just got into esport and that liked me for the right reasons. And we started talking, like we started to be closer and closer, and I heard a rumor from one of my friends that she slept with someone in esports a few months ago, and I asked her about it. I'm like, oh, did you sleep with blah blah blah? And she told me, no, I never slept with blah blah blah. Like why the fuck would you even ask me that? Like I barely know blah blah blah. And about a week ago, I got evidence that she actually did sleep with someone. This blah 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 is like a friend of mine. Like that's pretty close, but we never talk. We were close before, and we're not that close nowadays. And I didn't ask him about it because I just thought it was straight bullshit. And when I got evidence that it was true, like I called her and I asked her to her face, like, did you sleep with blah blah? And she's like, yes. Why the fuck did you lie to me? Like, holy fuck, like, you could have just been honest. Like, I would have been fine with it. Like, you asked me to be exclusive and you kept this from me.
Oh, Loco, it's okay.
And then after that,
did you start reading off the lyrics to the song "Too Late to Apologize"? Just slowly,
no,
with one tear rolling down your cheeks.
I told her
one candle lit.
Hug a pillow.
I told her, what is it, that I want to break and that I'm not gonna talk. I want to break.
Wait, so this is recent?
This is recent. This happened 2
So, like,
Sundays
a week
ago.
you're
Yeah,
like,
weeks
okay,
ago I was
wow.
seeing this girl. So I told her, like, I want to break. I don't want to talk to you. And she messaged me later that day. She said, I don't know what's left of this friendship / relationship / whatever, but I'm gonna block you. I'm never gonna reply to you again. So she deleted her Twitter, or she blocked me on her Twitter, she blocked me on her Insta, she deleted her LinkedIn, she deleted her Facebook, she blocked my number, and I was still, like, kind of heartbroken, so I tried to reach out to her, like, through her work. She quit work that day too. She quit everything, like, that was associated, like, because she played this, like, I'm a nice girl while she was two-timing. She wasn't really two-timing me, she just did something in the past that she wasn't honest about, but, like, she just fucking completely disappeared.
So affected.
And
holy shit, talk about deep in.
The thing is, like, this girl was, like, just a completely normal nice girl that was not even, like, really within esports, and then she did this to me. And, like, that's when I fucking knew, like, I'm like, holy fucking shit, never ever open up, never, like, it doesn't matter if she's, like, remotely into esports. Like, if she knows about video games, then just fuck it, it's not worth it. The risk is too real.
Girls are shitty all over the place, honestly.
Then she went, like, the extra mile to ghost me.
Too down, but that's unreal, dude. That's, like, deep in. Imagine quitting your job. If she moves, go to her house. She moves, see if she does it. Go where she goes, see if she leaves there too. Make a book.
I like the way when people break up a Loco, they literally join the witness protection program and, like, become a fucking housewife in, like, fucking Oregon or something. I don't know.
Okay, you know how there's two sides to every story? Imagine Loco on the other side, on her side, it's like, this guy won't stop texting me, like, he threatened to kill me because I had sex with some guy while he was talking to other girls. Dude, he's calling my job, what do I do? I'm scared. Like, there's two sides to every story. I'm a little
He just called my fucking regional
God.
product manager and told him that he's a coach at TSM and he's gonna be fired. Like, he doesn't even know who TSM is.
After that text, like, I called her once and I realized I was blocked, and then I texted someone from her work that I knew, and then they told me she randomly quit. And, like, our relationship was really on the down low, like, no one knew about it, so they had no idea, and they were also surprised that I called and, like,
Loco,
how'd
let
you
me
know
ask
she
you
quit?
this question. If it was possible, right, that you would have never found out if she actually did this, you never would get any evidence, no one would confirm it through a story. If the story really would have ended, like, after you'd asked her, like, did you do anything? She was like, no, I didn't. And you never get any reason to believe it does, right? But in reality, she did do what she did, right? But you just never get to find out. If you could, would you want to go to that world and just live and just never get to know and just enjoy whatever you had before and see where it went?
Whenever I feel weak, I say yes, but, like, right now, like, I gotten over it enough. And also, Anime Expo has been good for me, where I feel like, no.
Wait a minute. What does Anime Expo have to do with it? You mean meeting people and stuff?
So Anime Expo is one place where I feel good because, like, I feel like I can talk to people that are in video games, that are in anime, that doesn't know esports. So it's not that weird. So yeah, Anime Expo usually has been good for me.
I think also, like, it takes, like, a really deep, long, close bond for relationships to not be, like, easily replaceable, in my opinion. Like, there's a lot of people on the planet, and, like, many people are special and they're different, and, like, it's not like one person's, like, the exact same. And I'm not trying to give you that whole there's fish in the sea thing, but there's, like, genuinely a lot of really tight people. So, like, being stuck on one that was just, like, lying to you, in that sense, like, it's useless.
Well, here's the thing: you don't have to say to
girls
Loco.
that are better at better things. That
the simple way to say it is you don't have to say to Loco, "There's more fish in the sea." You just tell him, "Oh, did you get your heart broken?" Well, there's plenty of weebs at AnimeCon, and he's like, "Yay!"
That's
and then he runs off,
right.
gets his fucking Naruto outfit on, obviously, you know,
what did you cosplay?
What? And then cosplay,
it's like fucking
dude,
you get the Vegeta power scanner. Oh, I can see your hotness level is over 9,000, darling.
Did you wear your jersey? Were you like?
No, what the fuck? I just went to a few after parties.
I brought a pen for the autographs. Like, oh my
He
God.
used a marquee and he cosplayed as Bjergsen. He kept put the beard on and then he like put his jersey on.
No, I just
Came in like-
I just went to the after parties and hung around. You know
I
how
had
it
to pick
goes.
Bjergsen because he's about the only person whose physique
thought
you
it
could
could
actually mirror.
Bjerg is fucking buff now.
Really?
Yeah.
Listen,
I
all I'm
remember
going
when
to say
you
is
were-
this, mate. If there was like me and him, and there was a locked door, and only one person gets out alive, I'm pretty sure I'd take him.
I don't know. Nowadays, I'm pretty sure Bjerg can kill you.
Calls out Bjergsen for a
Yeah,
professional
a
fight.
1v1 fight to the death. If
To
I'm in
the
that situation, Bjergsen, like you better be hugging your tower, getting me, because I'll kill you straight up, mate. I'm like fake. I'd just go straight in. You think the jungler was there?
What,
Also, the other
what
thing
if he
is,
calls for his jungle? What if he calls for Acadian?
The jungler was
Well,
there.
listen,
Right.
if we all know one thing is that his jungler will not do anything, will he? Like, his jungler will just stand outside the room,
Why is that
unable to
gonna
get
happen?
in, not seeing anything, going, what do I do, though, Bjergsen? What do I do? And he'll go, Bjergsen will just be screaming, like, I'm not the one telling you what to do, so just do what I say.
Oh,
and then
God.
at the same time,
So just-
there's one other reason, though. There's one other reason I would definitely win. I don't even know what physical level Bjergsen's at. Maybe he is really fit. It's just this factor as well you've forgotten, though. Is Bjergsen's like a nice guy. He comes from Denmark. He grew up with like a good family and stuff. He'd be trying to fight me, like grabbing us. I'd just gouge his eyes. I'd fucking bite on his face. I'd
Okay,
fucking
wait.
punch him in his
Hold on.
nuts all the time.
Stop.
I'd fight dirty if I had to live. I'd fight.
You're like totally missing. You know, Bjergsen had. I don't know if you ever watched like the little show they did about like the pros. I don't remember when they did it or which team he was on at the time, but it talked about his whole life story and how he used to get like. He said it, so I guess it's okay to say it's sad, but he like, got beat up and like bullied
Yeah,
like really
sure.
bad. They like cut his tongue under his mouth. Like
What the
he can
fuck?
take some
Fuck.
shit. So you really think he's gonna let you do that to him? I feel like he deserves a rebuttal. I'm waiting for the response. He's gonna say something.
You can clap back. You can clap back, Bjergsen. Sorry, mate.
Oh my god.
I wonder. Wait, what? Where are you from, Thorin? I'm sorry.
I'm from the northeast of England, love.
England, right? Okay, England, Denmark.
Yes, it's
Well,
a continent.
technically, his ancestors actually basically
How
came
tall are
and
you?
literally raped my ancestors. So to be fair,
tall-
Oh
just
my
be
God.
even squares. That's what the
Wait,
Vikings
I'm
were all
doing
about.
stats now. I like fighting. I'm thinking.
The problem
how tall
is,
are you?
I'm from England.
Where is
so,
this
we don't-
going?
I don't know in centimeters. It's 6 feet. So what was that in centimeters? We don't use.
You're
metric, I'm
6,
afraid.
Doran.
Bjerg's pretty tall.
You're shorter than me, and Bjerg's taller than me.
Yeah, Bjerg is tall. He's
I don't know
long.
if I am shorter than you because you, like I said, you wear the fucking Reebok pumps that you.
I don't wear.
Whenever you get insecure, you just pump them up a little bit more.
Doran, I'm 6'1", and Bjerg's taller than me, so I'm pretty sure he's taller
You
than
are.
you.
Yeah. We can
Easier
Google it,
access
I'm
to
sure.
the nuts.
Yo, I know someone in this chat is like so obsessed and knows how tall is Bjergsen, chat. Someone knows. Be that nerd.
Okay. Wait, but Moon and Duncan, like, how do you guys like open up to people when you've been hurt before? And like, I find that so hard.
I can tell you the obvious answer, mate, which
What?
is like the most effective approach to getting over anything you're afraid or like you naturally have an aversion to. It's called exposure therapy. You have to gradually expose yourself again, like a little bit at a time, so that you stop being so uncomfortable. So the sad story, Loco, is you've just got to learn to trust people again. You've got to put your heart out there again, offer it up to them with eager, naive optimism, and just pray that this time they don't crush you. And if they do, so what? It'll happen again and again and again. And then one day you'll either, there's a joke, there's like a Louis C.K. joke, that was a great one, where he said, what's like the best case scenario, right? You basically marry someone and it goes awesome until one of you dies. So like even the best case scenario isn't that great. So all I'm saying is just get over it, stop being a little bitch.
So I have like two responses because like my advice and my personal like experiences are very different. Like I've never been hurt. Like I've never had my heart broken. I've never been broken up with. I've been in many relationships. Like I was in 2-3 relationships back to back. Both times I broke up with them, and I still am very close with one of them. But like, so I don't know, but I do know that my like advice for people, and if it happens to me, is like no matter what, in the end, you just have to like be fully yourself because someone's gonna like you for the exact you that you are, and when shit doesn't work out and they fuck you over, like that's just the wrong person. It does not matter. That person literally doesn't matter. There are so many people. They're just like this much of star matter. Like it's so fucking minute. It does not matter. That's my advice. So seriously, you can find what you want if you just stop being distracted by the things you don't like because they're infinite. But the things that you do like are also available.
Maybe so.
I believe in you, Loco.
There's also one other thing I have to say, Loco.
What?
Is if you want some real world advice, here is the real world advice. You're the equivalent of a guy who's going out to the nightclub and you're just picking the girl up every time, half an hour before closing time, when everyone's had loads of drinks and partying, and you're just meeting the girl and take it, right? And the point is, if someone did that and then said, oh, believe it or not, the girl that I met, like, we didn't really have a great marriage and it didn't last long, everyone would go, well, no surprise. Like, you know, like, what sort of setting were you meeting the person? If you want to meet someone seriously, mate, like you said before, if you just want to be in esports and just hook up one time, that's fine, do that. But I probably wouldn't go, like, super deep down that avenue unless it's some really unique person.
No,
you don't meet someone like that. Just meet someone in normal circumstances.
Almost everyone in esport I disqualify, and it's usually like people I meet through friends are usually people I meet through real life friends. So I have a friend group in UCLA. I have a friend group in K-Town. Usually it's the girls in that group that I'm more like less wary of, than like esport people. Like esport people, not saying all girls are like that, but definitely you have to like be on the extra edge.
I like guys that like are good at games and like games and stuff, and it's not like I'm against nerds or anything like that. When I say I don't like esports people, it's not like, oh, I don't like nerds. It's literally just like I don't want them to be like their main focus, because I like you said, I guess maybe that is one of the reasons I like meeting people like completely outside of the elements I work in, like, and that inspire me in a new way. So it makes sense.
What you should do, Loco, I can already tell you the move. Unfortunately, you live in LA, so you can't do it at the moment. He needs to go back to Korea, and what he needs to do, I can already tell you, is this, Loco. Do not try to get a normal Korean girl. She will 100% reject you because you aren't a normal Korean guy. You need to get basically the sort of Korean girl who normally goes, are you ready? You're going to love this, Loco. Who normally goes for the foreigner guy, because I learned, like, when you tend to date them, they tend to have dated lots of foreigners. No, listen, this is why it's going to work. Because the genius move is she can never have a really long-term relationship with that guy because he won't be accepted by her parents, and she probably, you know, she's having a fling, she's having some fun with someone exotic. But you're the guy who can be the perfect intersection, because initially she can have the fun with the issue, can be going out to fucking, you know, she can be going out to all the bars and stuff in Hongdae, and you can be having all the drinks and stuff. But then eventually, when you decide to actually put a ring on that motherfucker, she can actually take you back, and you can vaguely pretend like you're a normal Korean human being to her parents, and they might accept you. There you go. Boom. I'm your best man at your wedding. I'll give that speech about I told you what to do.
Okay, sure. Let's call it that.
Pretty good.
Chat, any more questions? Any more questions? I'm down to answer anything.
Ooh, he said he's down to answer anything.
Ask Moon if she thinks scantily clad woman on Twitch, oh my god, it's scrolling too fast, is problematic or not for the perception of females on Twitch. How far does the line of acceptability go?
I think that I'm really comfortable with what the TLS is personally. I think that like no nipples, no full vag butt cracks, there's like fine. I don't really care. So I have a very unique perspective on this, and like a lot of people don't agree with me, and I really don't mind. I grew up in a dance studio. Since I was 3 years old, 90% of my life I wore either a leotard or a literal black sports bra and black booty shorts. I didn't even wear dance shoes most of the time I was training. Like, I am so comfortable in anything and in my skin and with being seen in anything. I trained with men, women. I've been on dance companies. I've danced with people in Cirque du Soleil, so they think you can dance. It doesn't matter. Like, bodies don't shock me really that much. I think people are really, it's a cultural thing. When I lived in Korea, I couldn't wear a tank top outside. Ajumas would come up to me and put their hands on my shoulders and say, oh, cover up, like it's too much skin. Like, it's a cultural thing. Some people might see it and it might be odd because it's so out of their like element. But I'm from California and Chicago, where I grew up in what I grew up in, so I'm very comfortable with it. Like, I think that the TOS is safe enough where it's not pornographic. Like, I know some people push the limits or whatever, and I'm not saying anything bad about anyone. Like, Twitch will handle it as it does. I hope they stick to the TOS fairly for everyone. That's one thing I think is not always true. They don't always treat everyone fairly, but in general, like, I don't know. I'm not so, like, blown away. Also, I don't know. I don't know why people always ask me this question specifically. I don't really wear a lot of crazy, showy stuff. I've never even worn just, like, a sports bra or, like, spandex shorts on stream before. Like, I don't know. I'm always wearing, like, even my shorts or jean shorts or like my crop tops or I don't know. Like, I don't know. Everyone always asks me this. It's interesting. Yeah.
I think you can wear whatever the fuck you want, long as it's not pornographic. But because Twitch is very much suited to like younger audience also. So like if you are wearing something that can be classified as not pornographic but scandally, I think you should have 18 plus on your like Twitch account or on your stream?
I have mature. I say the word, the F word, like so much. I have the mature audience thing on as well. Some people are like, oh, you're a bad person because you're wearing like a tank top a tank top, like crop top with shorts, and like kids are watching it. I'm like, there is literally a mature audiences only button on my stream. Like if you find that to be not okay for someone under 18, then don't let your kid watch it. Like I guess that's up to you. If it's okay, then it's okay. You know what I mean? I would think it's fine, but
no, but I think if majority viewership is like on the younger side, like if you are like a 18 plus streamer,
my average viewers is 22 to 34 years old.
But it's like Twitch is like a giant TV network though. Like anyone can press any channel and go on it. Like maybe people are letting 13-year-olds go on to watch like Fortnite streamers, but they come across like a more rated R streamer or a rated 18 plus streamer, and like they should be disabled from that. And like I think Twitch should moderate that better so you can stream stuff like that, but you have to be 18 plus, and so younger people can't go on shit like that.
Yeah, again,
like if people are going to address that way, because I don't really particularly mind what people wear. Again, so it's the streaming site that makes the rules, but I do
Europe,
think
like porn on TV. Like, I don't know.
That bit's a bit overrated. Like it's usually exaggerated by Americans a bit in that sense. But like we have similar rules in the UK. You know, you wouldn't be allowed to be on television dressed in that way. That makes sense. But what I would say is like if you are going to dress, as you say, like scantily clad, basically sexually provocative clothing, like. At least like understand what you are doing in doing so. Like, don't then try and claim. You know, it's when people try to claim that they can do that, and then at the same time, why are people sexualizing me? It's like you're sexualizing yourself, and you must know it on some level. Because here's the thing: like, I'm sure there are some people. You know, I'm sure there's some girls who watch girl streamers who they just think, oh, it's a cool dress. But let's face it, if a lot of the people who are your viewers are male and you're successful in part because of how you dress, you have to acknowledge that it's a thing and that you are playing on the sexual aspect of it, which is legitimate. You can do that if you want to. I think if I was fucking super good looking, which, you know, whatever,
unfortunately,
one side. If I was, listen, I'd be wearing the fucking, you know, what's that thing called, the mankini or whatever. I'd be doing all the stream with Dr. Disrespect.
I have on this note, and like seriously, exactly what you're saying. I do think it's really silly to do it and not to talk about it as it is. And I think like expression and like art and like what I was saying earlier go into this for me a lot, because even as a very young girl, my favorite way of expressing myself, the way I dressed, my dance styles, they were all sensual undertones. I don't know why. That's just like how I feel. It's how I express myself. I like wearing clothes that have like lingerie elements, but they are like actual clothes. It's just like an aesthetic and a style that I like. I like style and I like expression and I like sensuality. When I like play games, I like games that have hot girls. Like I don't know what's wrong with that either, and I don't mind saying that. I talk about this shit on my stream all the time. It's not like I'm unaware of it. Like I think guys are so cute. I love guys. I'm like not the kind of girl that's like, oh, men suck, fuck the guys, oh, guys are trash. Like I never do that shit. I'm so open and honest about sexuality and all those things. So I agree with you. There's no reason to act like, oh, it's so not that way. But when it comes to like what I think is comfortable to show, like I said, I'm so comfortable all the time. I don't know why it's such a big deal.
Like put it this way, Loco. You can also absolutely, by the way, go the other way as well. Like I guarantee you, if fucking Crown from Optic spoke English and with like that, especially if he did like that fucking flame voice, like the soft spoken, like, he'd have so many female viewers on his stream going absolutely ham. And if he just put up a little link like, oh, trying to trace.
Are there any like cute streamers with like a bunch?
There's not many at the moment nowadays, is there? Now it feels like.
I found one before, but he became I'll talk about him. Oh my god, my friend he became a Fortnite pro. I found him. He used to be a YouNow cute boy streamer. He's like also dating my other friends, so shout out to them. But like he was a little cute boy YouNow streamer. He came to Twitch. He had like 100 viewers. They were all girls from YouNow. He's like saying they're like, oh,
what the fuck is YouNow?
Like games. I want to be. It's like an old app where you used to stream like boys and girls would just stream like, hey, like literally like just like.
Like Loco's Twitter, yeah.
Slow, like small, like level content. I don't know how to explain it, but he's really good
like
at games.
Stream.
So he went he went to a stream. He had only girl viewers, like 100 maybe, and they were all
nothing like Loco's stream.
Yeah. No, you guys are all fucking boys. Y'all
I get thousands of girl viewers.
Oh my god, little boys that like you. Oh my god, you guys have a crush on Loco.
Oh my god, Moon. Why?
Maybe they just think he's cool.
Anyways, so now he has like 2 to like 10,000 viewers average. TSM Fortnite pro, fucking dating cute ass girl. Like it's crazy.
Wait,
but no.
Is he blonde? Is he short and blonde?
Yeah, I can't fucking. His name is I freaking forget his name.
Oh my god. No. It's not Tfue.
Nice guy.
Wait, I met him.
Nice guy.
He's so nice.
His name is Diego.
Diego
Yeah.
Soares.
Yeah, Diego Soares.
Exactly,
Wait.
shout out. He's funny.
Really? What the fuck? I met
He
him.
used to be like a cute boy, like on you now, and then he like I know this because that was like his chat, and that's what I'm saying. Now he has all these viewers and he's a big streamer, but his viewers are now guys. So there's like I don't know anyone that has like all girl viewers. Like what girls? What the fuck?
Wow. Yeah, he's an Apex pro for TSM now. I ran into.
He's Apex? I
Yeah.
thought he's Fortnite.
No, he's Apex. He's Apex.
Sorry, bro. I don't watch anyone. I'm sorry.
Damn, I ran into him at Anime Expo after party like last weekend.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Cool. I've never seen him in person. I've only seen a stream. Like,
Did you go and cosplay to Anime Con or whatever the fuck it was called?
Me or her?
no.
You.
Me? Why would I? No, I've never cosplayed in my life.
Oh my god, do you wanna?
You're saying that like it wouldn't be popular. People would be loving that if you did an Instagram of if you were dressed as, I don't know, I'm going to make it a joke one, like Draven or something.
Why don't we go, when we go to Worlds, why don't we group
Check this
cosplay,
out.
Doran?
We could do it, yeah. Actually, Worlds is in Europe this year, isn't it? Am I right
We should
about
do it
that?
for sure.
I think it is. That's true.
I'll be Sasuke, you can be Naruto, and Moon can be Sakura.
Are you ready for this shit?
We'll see if we can recreate the dynamics of that particular threesome.
What?
Just a word that means 3 people.
Are you ready? Hold on.
I'm ready.
This was me cosplaying
Here we go.
at Anime Expo. Wait, no, I'm in the wrong display capture. I got this. Give me 1 second. I'm not good at this. This is me cosplaying Valera from Hearthstone at Anime Expo. I made this, the armor and the weapon, everything, and I actually got rank 3 playing her, right? Or no? Oh, I didn't
Wait a
rank
minute.
3 playing her. That's Hearthstone cosplay.
But that isn't you though.
Yeah, that's me.
No, look at the face. That isn't you.
What? I
There's no
googled
way that's you.
myself.
That's like a drawing
Wait.
of someone. What you're about? Like, let me have a look at a different picture. Show me another picture.
Also me. This is I was like 19. Literally, I
Oh
was like
right,
a
yeah.
baby.
You look a bit younger. Right, fair.
I was like, I'm 25 now. No, I'm
You also
20
look like
now.
you're like Australian or something.
I
You
am
look
French
like that
and
woman
Spanish.
do you remember that woman out of Battlestar Galactica who had like that red dress and long blonde hair? You look like a 9 or whatever she was called. I don't know. She was one of the Cylons. Spoiler for anyone who hasn't seen that show
Cylon.
yet.
What the fuck is a Cylon?
You never watched Battlestar Galactica, mate?
No, I've never watched
I
Battlestar
did
Galactica.
not.
It was a decent show. It came out a while
Oh.
You're a boomer, Doran. That's why. We're cool
We came
hip
out in the
millennials.
Hey, league nerds. Hey, all you shit talking league nerds. I cosplayed Ari back in the day too. Look at that's me.
Okay.
Wait, it's not showing it. Oh,
No, it is
we
showing.
can see it.
We can see it.
We can see that.
okay.
Okay.
It's hard to crop it.
No, so that was the photo that my editor used to make the graphic, and I was like, okay, guys, let's not use this photo because I don't want I don't want viewers to like yell at her for like being a
thank
cosplay.
you.
Blah
I
blah
know,
blah.
what's wrong with being a cosplayer? I love making stuff with
No,
my
not-
hands.
not
I made
like
this
cosplay
armor. I played
TAOC.
that game for thousands of hours. I don't get.
I don't think there's anything wrong with cosplay, but I didn't want like the viewers and like the general audience for that to be like the first
Judge.
image they see.
I respect that. Thank you.
And you ended up arguing with people on Twitter anyways, though.
Oh, I only wanted to speak to one person, so if anyone had anything to say, they could see it. Because I thought it was really like funny, like just how uneducated the opinions were. I was like, so okay, yeah, it was funny.
All right, Duncan, let's do final topic and let's start wrapping up the show. So, chat, ask a good final question and we're gonna start wrapping up.
I've got a question for you. Let's do a fantasy one. So
Okay.
what we do now is we're going to each pick an LCS pro, past or present, that we want to be if we could somehow just for one day be that person. And the idea is you're not just picking them because they're good at the game, you know. You're picking them because for some factor, like he's a really intelligent guy, or even something like, you know, you always want to know what that team was like so you could be him and talk to his teammates. So who would you pick, Loco?
Who would I pick? Oh man, who would I pick? I am probably obviously like Bjerger Double. Like they're like uber famous, like uber good at the game. You really said Locodoco. Yeah, Bjerger Double because like I mean I'm very like all about like success in life, like success in video games, like success in work. And, like yeah, sure. Like I would love to find out what it's like to be Bjerger Double for a day.
My joke obviously would be you should choose to be one of the TSM junglers. Then you could finally be the one jungler that ever gave Bjergsen what you actually needed. And then he'd be like, oh my God, I was searching for you for so long. And he'd be like, Loco, is that you? And you'd be able to tell it was you. And then in that moment, your souls would connect. And that's all the connection you ever waited for, right?
Oh my God, okay. What about you, Duncan?
I think, who would I be? It'd have to be set because I'd have to pick one for like to have a cool reason to do something. So who would I be?
I know mine.
Yeah, go on, tell us yours. I'll think of mine while you'll tell me one.
Mine was easy, but it sounds basic, but it would 100% be Faker because he's literally the best. And not only that, but I would love to be fluent in Korean all day, like walk around Korea, feel what it's like to like be like immersed there in like a totally new way, like practice with the team, the rigorous like hard work. I feel like I'd honestly learn like mental like what's that word, like durability, like what's that word when you can like sustain more
Endurance?
Stamina.
Endurance, stamina. Exactly. I would gain endurance and stamina just by having the mental experience of like the dedication that they put into their work. Like there's so many reasons I'd be Faker. And also, are you kidding me? Outplaying people like that IQ. Oh my God. Imagine that IQ inside your head. Fuck.
I don't think you'd have high IQ because I don't think Faker necessarily has high IQ. I think it takes maybe.
I think he does.
I said in the play. Okay. I said imagine outplaying people that high IQ.
By the way, as an aside, Loco, I actually do legit think like Faker is someone. I don't know if he's a genius. I've obviously never spoken to him in Korean, but he does strike me as someone who has like an unusual level of intelligence. If you just look at all his interviews, he has a very weird like way of talking that I've noticed. Actually, I'm probably going to do a topic on this one day because I've noticed a lot of the really great Korean players were like this. Like they almost have like a weird obsession with the game where they like. They don't have to make themselves play it because they just it's what they want to do. So they're all really weird guys, like the super champion.
Singular minded, like
yeah,
really
like
super focused.
They're different from the average pro, you know, because a lot of pros, you know, they're just good at the game, or they like being on a pro team, or hey, this is the team I'm on now, and they each have their own motivation that could be very fleeting, you know. But some of these guys have like that level where they're just dialed in. Like Faker to me is like someone who feels like they were just born to play League of Legends.
Yeah, he's kind of robotic.
I feel like everyone in like the highest like league of everything like that people do in the world has to have that kind of personality and that like devotion, the natural dedication to it to like be at that level. I mean, there's a reason why he's so fucking the people are so successful at it.
Sure.
Because they need to do it. They love to do it.
Someone said in chat, but Caps is like that too. I'm not sure if you know who Caps is, but he's a European pro player that plays mid lane. That's almost like Faker in terms of like skill level recently. Like he won MSI. Like he's also very robotic and very single-minded. Like we asked him what you do when you have free time. He's like, what do you mean? Like when I have free time, I go like take a shower or I eat food. We're like, no. Like when you have free time, what do you do? And he's like, I just play League all day.
You know, it's interesting because I know a pro I remember while he was pro, I used to go to his house, one of the team houses I used to go kick it with like all the time. I don't want to say the team because I don't know if this is bad or not, but while he was pro, I would see his whole team practicing every day, all the time, and he would never practice. And I asked him like, how many games of League like do you play? And he's like one. I'm like, a day? He's like, a week. Was
he good? Is he a good pro?
No.
Okay.
No, wait, he was, but not successful.
Okay.
Like, not heavily successful.
Okay.
Not heavily successful. He was a good, I mean, pros are good, but like, you know what I mean? I don't mean to be shitty. But it's just like, I was like, okay, so that personality type versus someone like Peter, who literally used to tell me like, oh, like, yeah, I just play like 9-10 hours a day. Like, I don't mind, like, whatever. I don't care. Like, he's like, I want to get better. I have an opportunity. Like, everyone wants to be as good as me. That was the one thing about Peter. On camera, he's like, I'm better than everyone else. And he's like, yeah, off camera, I'm better than everyone else because I fucking know that everyone can be this good if they practice as much as me, but I'm fucking practicing harder. Like, it was like more context to the statements.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, you actually water the story down if you tell people the second part, like, oh, but you all could be as good. No, it sounds cooler to just be like, yeah.
It sounds way cooler. I think it's funny as fuck. I like when people are just like, fuck you. I don't know why people need people in media to be so nice all the time. Like, why are you like so offended that they're like, I don't know, they're not your friend.
Sure.
Someone, not to go totally off topic, but something really smart that I heard once from someone was that the minute people try to like appeal to your emotions when they want something from you is like the moment to stop trusting them.
Right.
I was like, not like for sure they're lying, but just like be fucking aware and observant of the true statement underneath the emotional pulls.
Sure. I mean, I'll just go with like the example I gave earlier. Basically, I would just be Crown from Optic. I would immediately book my flight back to Korea. I'd put in that little earring he wears. I'd wear like a skin tight top.
He has an earring?
Oh, he's fucking amazing earring, mate. It's pure fire. And then I'd go straight to Octagon. I'd taxi, take me straight there. The second it opens up, I'd be going in there. I'd buy like 5 tables out. I'd be bringing all the like really like dangerous thug elements like over like come sit with me. Oh, I respect you, you know. And I'd just be like I'd only have like 1 24-hour period, but at the end of that 24-hour period, he'd just be in like a fucking intensive care unit somewhere, like getting all IVs in his body. Like this man has no energy or fluids left in his body anymore. Like help me, please. I don't know what happened to me. That's a nerd picture of him. You have to look at put in Optic Crown. Put in Optic Crown. That's Optic Crown. Like that's him back there. Look at this guy. This guy's unreal.
He's like, are you seriously fucking looking at me right now, bro?
Exactly.
That's a nice expression in a photo. Take note.
Exactly.
All right.
Okay. Straight fire.
My advice for the whole show, boys, don't be smiling. Play more games than just League.
There you go.
All right, let's start ending out the show. Moon, any shout outs? Anything you wanna shout out?
Thank you so much for having me on. It was nice. I appreciate it. And also thanks for getting an opportunity to have a totally different viewership. Like, hear me out. If you liked me, thanks for watching. If not, sorry about that. I'm Moonstreuxx. It was cool talking to you guys.
Duncan, any shout outs?
Not really. Just to me for sitting through this episode. Cheers.
All right.
Thank you. That was so awful.
All right.
Yeah, it was all right. It was all right. What was it fun?
Moon, thank you so much for being on for episode 69. I wanted to get
By the way, episode 69, really?
Yeah.
Was that really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, that's the chat asked. The chat said I have to get a girl for episode 69, and I was like, I'll get the prettiest and the most magnetic person I know, Moon.
Did I fail you today? Are you?
No, you did fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
You turned up, but like all the other girls he asked to join the stream.
Hey, that's true. That's really all I had to do. So, yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Half a success, right?
All right. Thank you guys so much. I'll talk to you guys later.
안녕히가세요.
Thank you so much to our gold Patreon, Budpinder420, Tobias Bernasconi, and Icelandic C9 fan. Without you guys, the show wouldn't be possible. And thank you to all our Patreons in silver, bronze, and iron. Honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much. Like, you guys make the show possible. And Patreon is the best way to support us. Other than that, like, other than subbing to me on Twitch. But yeah, like, thank you guys all so fucking much. I love doing Listen Loco. And thank you. Bye, yeah.